Hello, everybody.
What up?
Howdy. Let me make sure I'm on the proper. Yes, I am on the proper
Kyle
in-
and Corin on the road again.
internet connection. Yeah, Kyle and Corin on the road is in Corin on the road and Kyle in the same spot.
We should take this barnstorming like we're like a 1950s basketball team that used to travel from town to town with our
That's what you
podcast.
are, man. You're an
I
old.
know.
You're the Harlem Globetrotters. Who are the
That's
other
what
ones?
the Washington Generals.
Oh, that's right. Washington Generals. They're the ones who lost all the time, right?
They lost like every single time, and I think just randomly one time is that ranch dressing?
Yeah. I got ketchup here too. I got some chicken tenders.
I think from where?
Spot next door, which shall not be named because then everybody knows it's next door.
Just say chicken spot. That's what I always say.
Yeah, chicken spot. Chicken spot.
But it might not be a chicken spot. Is it a chicken spot?
Semi.
Because there's like chicken spots. Like that's
Yeah,
probably
no,
went
this
to
isn't just.
California
It's not
with the
just chicken. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
just chicken. No.
What was I saying? Oh, the Washington Generals. I think they had lost like 97 years in a row or something crazy.
Oh my god.
That's not a. And then like I think it was like a one Wednesday or something. I was watching ESPN and randomly they just like beat the Harlem Globetrotters.
What
And I
the
was just-
fuck? What do you
I
mean?
was
They let that happen once?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. And it was just like a random Wednesday. Like I think I just put on. It might have been like ESPN2 or ESPN the U, which has all like the whack stuff.
Oh my god.
And I was like, hold on, the Washington Generals are winning, and then they went on to win, and it was like news. It was like they haven't beaten the Harlem Globetrotters since like a million years ago.
Who's worse, the Knicks or the Washington Generals?
The Knicks would definitely lose to the Washington Generals. Imagine being on the Washington Generals though. You're probably making like $8 a game, and you just go out and like you're probably a basketball player. Like you probably have played professional basketball, and you just know you're going out to lose every night.
I mean, I actually do wonder how much they get paid because to be like a literal professional loser
Yeah, that's
has
what
got to
I'm
be
saying.
annoying as fuck. You got to be like, fuck, what am I doing?
At least I mean, but like, it's competitive because it's basketball, so you want to win. But then I look at it like wrestling, where like, is it acting?
Oh, yeah, I mean, kind of. For that, it is. Like, they're losing on purpose, obviously.
Yeah, but then there's games where they like win, so it's like, what the fuck's going on?
That's why I asked you. I was like, they must have let them win one night. It had to be that.
Yeah, I
It
guess
had to be,
Maybe so-
right?
Yeah, definitely. But like, that's such a bad premise. Like every night, you know that this team's gonna lose.
Because for them, it's just the show of the Harlem Globetrotters. Like, that's what everybody's there for, the show of the Globetrotters.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
But
Like,
it's-
all the tricks they do and shit. And
That's such
one,
a
I think, was
degrading
better
job,
than
though.
that. Don't you think?
Oh, and one was the shit. But imagine having to try out for the Washington Generals. They're like, all right, we're going to bring in a Harlem Globetrotter now, and he's going to shit on your face. And you're going to have to stand there and smile because they're the main talent.
Yeah, like, why can't I be on the Washington Generals? You know?
That's what I'm saying. They don't have to be good. Like,
Yeah.
they probably miss layups, and all they do is get the ball thrown at their face, and everybody laughs at them.
But I'd be out of breath in like 5 seconds, and they'd be like, "You're the only person to ever get cut from the Washington Generals."
But that would be your thing. Like, people would come to see you get out of breath.
Like, oh,
Like
you
that-
see that dude right there? The dude wearing like number 22? His whole thing is he just gasses out in 3 seconds. And then
He
he
just
eats fries and chicken
yeah.
tenders.
He just gasses out, and then he goes to the concession stand in the second quarter, gets some chicken tenders and French fries, goes to the bench, eats some shits, talks politics a little bit, and then comes back on the court.
By the way, everybody, I apologize. I know like we talk with the mic every week, but this time it's like a little more than usual because I have a legit meal in front of me.
What do you mean talk with the mic?
No, I mean talk while we chew. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like naked without my mic in front of me. I did a chat with my dad yesterday, and it was so crazy because he was on the cusp of computer teaching. Like he was a computer teacher when computers first got started and shit. So like you would think he's like technology savvy and stuff like that. But he's also older. But like he just and I don't know, I guess I have little tendencies too, but he would like adjust himself in the seat and like get his face real close to the camera, or like he was adjusting the earbuds in his ear. And I was just like, for someone who should have, I mean, like, he knows mad shit about computers, but the new age shit, it's hard for them to keep up with, you know?
When you said he was thinking back when computers were like first coming around, like
Yeah.
he was thinking about doing it then, my first thought was, oh my God, the information he had then would have been obsolete in a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just changes so quickly. It
Yeah.
immediately changes.
And that's what I asked him too, was like, how do you keep up with all this shit? And he was like, I go on the internet and just read about it.
But there's no way he's up on like the new shit, right?
No, no shot. I mean, like he was not having trouble, but like I think it's just his ears, but like he couldn't keep his like earbud in. And I was like, just put that shit in your ear.
You're saying during the interview he was doing this?
Yeah, like towards the end, he started just holding it like this because he couldn't get it back in his ear.
I want to watch just for that comedic back and forth of like he started like he moves closer to the camera. It'd be like doing an interview with Bernie, where Bernie's there's this dude who does such a great Bernie impression. I retweeted it a while ago. It popped up on my TL again today, my timeline.
Mm-hmm.
The dude, he goes around and he pretends to be Bernie, and he does like the top 1% of the top 99% of the top 1%.
Yep.
And his little mannerisms are similar. It reminds me of just like an old dude trying to like putting his shit in.
That's why, like, I don't know.
Fidgeting nonstop.
Does my dad remind you of Bernie Sanders? Because, like, I look at my dad, and for some reason, he reminds me. Like, I don't think you know my dad. Like, I know my dad.
Obviously, I don't know your dad like you know your dad, but I know your dad well enough to answer that question. And the answer is not really. I mean, the only thing they have in common is that they're both old Jews.
Yeah, but like he speaks aggressively. I feel like Bernie does sometimes when he's trying to get like.
I agree with that. I agree with that, but it didn't. Until you brought it up, it didn't hit me that like, oh, he's kind of like Bernie.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. I thought it was a good chat. But like I said, I felt naked without my microphone. And now I understand why. Like, I watched like Louis C.K. came to my first college when I was there when he was doing Lucky Louie or something like that on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
And he like had his microphone, but it was like, and it sounded perfect, but like something was off to him. And like he didn't start the show for like 10 minutes because he couldn't get like his mic the way he wanted it.
It fucked his whole vibe up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be in your zone. Like you got to be able to click into your mind, your state of mind in order to perform.
Yep.
People don't understand that like you can't just flip a switch and it's just like, oh, you know, whatever, go do your thing. No, there's like a lot of prep. Imagine like, especially think about for athletes, like they probably have a long pregame ritual.
Yep.
I read that LeBron sleeps some crazy amount per day, like 12 or 14 hours or something like that.
Really?
And I also heard he spends over $1 million a year on like rehab shit.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. He did that in the middle of the year. He tried to say that his trainer just came out and said it, but just randomly his trainer came out and was like, "Oh, LeBron spends this much money doing all this rehabilitation shit." And it was just like, you're LeBron's trainer, you wouldn't say that shit if LeBron didn't tell you to say that shit, you know?
You have the funniest conspiracies, like the Trump doesn't tweet.
If you're LeBron James's trainer, it's almost like you're walking on eggshells, you know? Like this guy is the top person in the world. If you do anything in the media to try and, you know, promote yourself or put something out there about them, you need clearance for that shit. Like, you're not...
What's LeBron going to do? He's going to get mad that he said that? Like...
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Why would he get mad?
Because he'd be like, yo, dude, like, if LeBron was really a G about his shit, he'd be like, yo, dude, everybody doesn't need to know that I spend $1 million on my training. Like, you don't have to say that shit.
I mean, I could see the explanation for that. I could see being actually pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Being like, he got the top of the line, whatever, cryo chamber put in his house, and that alone costs like $400,000. You know, like... There could be pretty simple. I think it all
stems from the athlete because, like, they want the attention. And now that LeBron's not in the playoffs, what did he do last night when everybody's on NBA Twitter talking about officials and James Harden and Damian Lillard's the best guard? What's LeBron do? I'm thinking about doing a Q&A sometime shortly.
Stay tuned. He definitely does want attention. I saw that too.
Like, come on, man! If you're gonna do a Q&A, just do the shit. And then NBA on TNT tweeted at him like, "Yo." Like, come to the studio. Like, we'll save you a spot in the middle type of shit. And then Barkley was like, yo, you're not busy. You're not doing shit. It's the off season. And then LeBron tweeted back like, I actually am busy. I'll try and find time. But meanwhile, you got time to do Q&As and tweet every time when when people aren't talking about you.
So Barkley said that on NBA on TNT, and LeBron responded.
Yeah, it was like the next day or something. It was like, Charles, I actually am really busy. But I'll see if it fits in my schedule or some shit.
You're not in the playoffs. How are you busy?
That's what I'm saying. Like he wants attention and he wants everyone to be like, oh, LeBron, go on the shit. Whereas somebody asked me to come on some shit, I'm either saying yes or no. I'm not going to drag it out.
He's definitely not the best player in the world anymore.
I mean, we're creatures of habit too. I mean, like we're watching KD bust ass right now, but if LeBron was busting someone's ass,
but there's an argument for so many other people. I mean, okay, maybe best all-around player still, but like there's better players right now. Like you could even argue Antem Kumpasimhambo.
Yeah, but he's got flaws. Like
you told me the dude shut him down, right?
Al Horford. I was saying that since '88.
You said he's the only dude who could shut him down, and he shut him down, man.
Al Horford is so like he's older NBA player, but he's so like stable to the ground. He doesn't.
Yeah, he's
jump.
fundamentals. He's a fundamentals guy, right?
And he's very bottom like loaded.
Mm-hmm.
Pause.
So you're saying you nutted on his ass? That's what you're. This one's rated R. Kyle and Corin episode.
But he doesn't fall for fakes, and Antetokounmpo is good at faking one way, then coming back the other way, then just dunking on you. Horford stands his ground there, where he's not falling for those fakes or spin moves or whatever like that, and he'll give you a jump shot. So he camps out in the lane. Antetokounmpo doesn't have a jump shot, so I think there's flaws in his game. Durant is really the only guy that could hold the torch to his shit.
Really, you think only Durant?
I mean, Lillard's too small. Like, LeBron could just body him.
He's so good. Oh, my God.
He's so good, but Durant is really the only dude that could, shoot over you.
What about Harden? Oh, no defense probably for Harden, right?
Yeah, Harden doesn't have defense, and he's streaky. He'll go 2 for 17 or some shit,
But that's Kobe used to do that too sometimes.
Yeah, but not as much as Harden will have really bad stretches where he'll miss 29 threes in a row or something like that. And he'll make one at the end of the game and people will remember it. But Harden's like me in a sense. I'm always relying on the refs to give me a foul call.
People are gonna mock you for that, by the way. Second you said it, I was like, "Oh shit!" The comments are going in.
I was that dude. I was pretty good, but I wanted a foul call on every play because I wasn't assured that my shot was going to go in or some shit.
So you weren't buying all the noise where the Rockets were like, the refs cost us the game. You weren't buying that.
No. Some of them were fouls, but that's not the reason why they lost the game. Now, granted, if it was the Knicks and all this shit was happening, I'd be still bitching on Twitter today.
Exactly.
But it's not. And yes, some of those were fouls. But there's a whole game to be played. You can't bitch at the refs every single play at this point in the NBA. You got to just play through it regardless, You
like Golden State more than the Rockets, right? In terms of liking them.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're going to win the series, right? Aren't they very likely to win the series, Golden State?
Yeah. I mean, you may see
Do the Rockets have a prayer or no? Is it like that?
It depends. You might see the shit swing back into their favor with the referees maybe giving them a little bit more calls now. You might see this is something to watch for. This is notorious. The NBA does this. They'll get Steph. If it's just Golden State has so many good players that the refs can't get Durant, Clay, and Steph all in foul trouble. But Durant will pick up 3 early fouls in this next game, and it takes him out the whole game. It's almost like they do that shit to throw that player out the game. They'll get someone in foul trouble just so they sort of even it out.
I hate how the game is so reliant on the refs.
Yeah.
And it's not like they always do a great job. Oftentimes they're shitty.
They're terrible. They're the worst. And if you follow Mark Cuban on Twitter, he's going on a tangent right now. He's just straight 20 tweets in a row just blasting the officials. And
is he accusing them of rigging it or no?
No, not rigging it, but he's just saying the whole system that's in place for, young referees to come out and learn is so flawed. Like it's all buddy buddy system, and it's if you know this guy, you'll get put on a game. Like there's no system in place to for a referee to advance or, like become a better ref.
Do you think they call too many fouls, right? It's not like, I feel like back in the day, they used to let people kind of get away with being more physical, no?
Yeah, it was definitely more physical back in the day. Now that you could do a lot more stuff. Um,
That's what McGrady was saying, that if Kobe played with today's refs, that
yeah.
he would have had a 100-point game.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of these guys could have a 100-point game if they wanted to. Like Steph plays 3 quarters and scores 60 points, A lot of these guys now could score 100 points, but it's either on minutes restrictions or, they don't want to play the whole game because they're blowing them out by 30 points or something.
It's crazy how now the game is like all about just running and gunning and popping threes, whereas back in the day, everybody tried to copy the Lakers when it was Shaq who was just dominant as a center. Everybody was like, "Oh, we got to try to do that." Like the next time there's a dominant center, the game's going to go right back to people going, "Oh, we could win this way."
Yeah, but it's gonna be a while before that happens because kids coming up now, even big men like Zion Williamson or some shit, they're all shooting threes, or if they're learning how to shoot threes because if you can't, you're not going to be able to play in the NBA.
Damn, that's crazy because like Shaq is
It's
one of
crazy
the
to
greatest
watch that
players
evolution.
ever. Shaq is one of the greatest players ever, but with that evolution, he would have been behind the times if he was coming up now.
Hell yeah, they'd be like, this dude is just big as fuck, but like we can't keep him on the court because the other team center is banging threes on him all day. Like there was really not even really a place for him.
That's
like
so
obviously
crazy.
for Shaq there'd be a place for him because he's a monster.
Literally
but like
freak of nature, yeah.
but someone who's
Somebody
just as tall
who's
as him,
6'10", let's say
or
6'10".
7'2", Porzingis or some shit like that is shooting threes.
Damn. Damn.
It's great, and that's like evolution. That's like the evolution that we talk about as human beings too. It's quicker to see in the NBA. But the same type of shit happens to humans.
There's evolution in everything. Like, we've made this point before in politics, but Bernie, if he tried to run for president in like 1980 something, he would have gotten like 1% of the vote.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't the time yet. Like now we've had like a system that kind of perpetuates capitalism and deregulation, and people are really mad. And so Bernie resonates because people feel like they're getting screwed, and here's a guy who I can channel my anger through. It's all about the times.
That was something I spoke to my dad about. Was like, I was comparing when he was growing up. Everybody wore like leather jacket, like the Grease Lightning shit. Everyone was wearing a leather jacket, jeans, like some sneakers, and had their hair slicked back with like the cigarettes in their shirt or whatever.
Yeah, and everybody was named Lenny.
Yeah. But now that's an OD big chicken tender.
Yeah, some of these are diesel, man.
How many have you had? Have you bitten to like
This is number 6.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
But I made the point that like now there's so many more different like type of outcasts. Like someone could have, those big hoop earrings or like wear like some pink outfit. But back then, if you did that type of shit, you were like an oddball or like the weirdo,
I think that hippies were the original like outsiders of society,
Yeah, but they were still all like wearing tie-dye shirts and shit like that.
Yeah, they still all had a thing. They still all were like, you're this thing.
Yeah, they were like the Grease Lightning, but
so when did the individuality start? Was that 90s or 2000s or 2010s? Like what is that?
I really think it was like just recently that like people really, not recently as in a couple years, but maybe like the 2000s. I feel like people really started
2000s?
ODing and like maybe boy bands like putting bleach blonde hair in their shit.
But again, so to go back to the hippie point, there's all a type for a boy band too. Like it's a thing. No, like it's not really individual. It's just like it's their own thing.
I guess it was then over time, like just a combination of every group, like hippies and boy bands and Grease Lightning, people just mashing together and sort of just everyone doing their own type of shit.
I mean, I wonder when the first like goth kid came about. You know what I mean? Like, what year was it that somebody was like, fuck it, I'm going to wear all black?
Right when Hot Topics opened their door for the first day.
Yeah.
Remember
Let's
that
look
store?
up the year. I do. What year do you think that store opened up? I'm going 1995.
95? No, I think later than that. I'm going to go, I'll say 98 or 99.
Okay, Hot Topic. You said 98. 1989.
You sure you're looking up at the right
Swear to
Hot
God.
Topics?
100%. Hot Topic.
Like the Gothic store. Does it say in the description of what the type of store
Hot Topic is an American retail chain specializing in counterculture related clothing.
Wow. 1989?
1989. So that was when the first goth person came around. 1989. So that's a year after I was born.
That store used to scare the shit out of me, man. And I think there was a rumor, and I don't know if it was true, but you had to be like a certain age to go in there. Just because some of the shirts like might have had like a penis on it or something like that. I think was true.
Let's go buy the Hot Topic dick shirts and do a podcast with them.
We should do a podcast live from Hot Topics.
They'd be like, "Fuck you, get out of here! What are you doing?"
Imagine we just went in there and
they'd actually beg us to buy shit because they'll be like, "We're already out of business."
Dude, that's like every time I go to Office Max or some shit like that.
How is this open?
There's like 7 people in there. It's the largest store in the fucking world.
I know. Why are they always so big? They're unnecessarily
ginormous.
Big. They're so big.
It puts it in perspective. Like when they're in business, they're big as fuck, those stores. But when they go out of business and you get to walk inside of one of those and see how big that space is.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You're like, holy fuck, this is a big, because like all the shelves are not in there and it's just a big open, like there was a mall. Where the hell was I? I don't remember. Oh, it might have been somewhere in Texas. But there was an old Sears in a mall.
Oh shit!
And it like they took over the Sears. It was like some karate tournament dojo thing. Took over the Sears, and they cleared the whole shit out. And I walked in and I was like, "This definitely used to be a Sears one." And god damn, this place is massive. Because like all the shelves were out, like it just
it's insane
shows how much space it is.
No, it's insane. Yeah, it looks like double the size when you take out all the shit.
It's ridiculous. And that's like every office space I walk into. There's like, as big as their damn store is, every time I'm looking for some shit, they don't have it. And I'm like, what the fuck do you guys have? Just like manila folders or whatever those shits are called?
Yeah, come to think of it, I've never thought like, oh my god, I need X. I got to go to Sears.
Well, no. Sears, they might have a shirt or some shit. Sometimes they'll have a sale rack with some clothes. But Office Max...
Oh, you're saying Office Max. My bad. I thought my mind went back to Sears.
Sears maybe will have a banger, a shirt or something like that. That's like you could randomly walk around and look at some clothes.
You've not found office shit that you needed in Office Max?
No, I needed printer paper once for a Canon printer.
They didn't have that shit?
They had the 4x6 size, but they didn't have the 2x3 size.
They have, oh my god, that's...
And I was like, why don't you have every fucking size?
Yeah, you're fucking Office Max.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you should have everything for the office there.
You really should. Somebody could walk in with some Japanese, like, specific kind of paper that they need. And they're like, yeah, we have like 8 boxes of them.
Yes. You have to have, if your shit is named Office Space or whatever.
Office Max. Office Space is a good movie.
And your location is as big as it is, your stores need to be fucking more packed than those shits are.
Yeah.
And stop having like 7 people working at those shits. And every time someone is working at that shit, he's standing in like the print section on the left-hand side and not by the cash register. So when you want to check out, you got to ask him, do I go to you at the print station or are you coming over to the cash register? And he's like, oh, hold on. And then they walk. There's never anybody at the cash register. So then they'll walk you someone to come up to the cash register. And then they give you some look like, oh, you want to buy this shit? And I'm like, well, what the fuck am I doing in this shit? Like, yeah, I want to buy this shit.
What are your thoughts on them moving towards, like, you got to do it yourself? Like, you got to check out yourself?
Nah, fuck that. I mean, I do that at the supermarket just because, like, sometimes people OD and just buy so much shit.
That you go to the self checkout.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't bother me at supermarkets. Some place like an Office Max or some shit. If there's 4 people working there, and like I'm the only customer in the damn store, like 3 of you should be fucking helping me with some shit.
Honestly, I don't know how any of those places are still open. Like I
The
would
dude
get
even
it.
told me, he was like, I was like, do you have this? He was like, honestly, they might have that shit at Best Buy. And I wanted to be like, yo, you're on Undercover Boss right now.
You're
and
fired.
You're fired. Because why would he do that?
He was just being honest with you, man.
I know. I
respect that
it.
guy. Yeah, that's cool as fuck. By the way, everybody, this is going to be a shorter podcast because Corin's got 80 things to do. And I like how I have a list of like 6 things and we didn't even get to any of them yet. But
I'm tight at the Office Max, dude. I feel like if you're one of the like 18 employees that still like work for Office Max, you gotta OD be loyal to your brand, because it's almost like, what the fuck do you do when one day you get a phone call and it's just like, we're closing every Office Max?
I mean, I would get it if there was one big headquarters where they have all this shit, and then when people order their office stuff online, their whole thing is like, well, we have everything here and we ship it from here. So like I could see Office Max being in business from that perspective, where they could kind of switch up their business model a little bit and have one big headquarters and ship everything out. But the idea that, yeah, you go to major cities and there's an Office Max just randomly on like the main street. It's like, no, you're not. There's no way you're staying. How the fuck can you afford the rent for a main street when you got the biggest, like you got a 30,000 square foot
spot? It's like
spot.
a fucking movie theater.
Yeah, and what are you gonna do? You gonna make up for that by selling staples? Like
they probably sell like $16 a day.
That's what I'm saying. You sell like maximum, like a good day for them. Let's say a really good day. Somebody comes in and they buy like a new desk, and like the for the day they make $1,000 or something. Like rent in that shit for the month is probably like $50,000.
And nobody's coming in to buy a desk anymore. Like they're doing that shit online because it could get delivered right to their fucking house. Okay, if you buy that shit from Office Depot or whatever the fuck it's called.
All right, so here's the deal.
Office Depot and an Office Max?
There are 2 separate things. Yes, Office Depot and Office Max. But
that's so OD.
I guarantee you Office Max is they're laundering drug money.
They got to be doing something.
They have to be doing something, yeah, cuz there's no way they could. Like how they going to fucking, and the margins on those shits too are like, if a company that makes, I don't know, fill in the blank, whatever kind of office supply. What do I have near me?
Calculator?
Yeah, calculator. Like, what do you think the margin is on that? It probably costs like what? $8 to make the calculator, and they sell it for $12.
They used to sell those Texas Instrument joints for like $175. Those diesel ass ones?
Yeah, now you could get all the shit that the Texas Instrument did. You could get it on your fucking phone.
Yeah, that's so true. Oh man, yeah. If you didn't have a Texas Instrument back in the day, you were a fucking lame.
Yeah, people, like, because they were so expensive, everybody sort of took a hot minute to look at them and be like, yo, I got this new Texas Instrument.
Yeah, everybody
was like, oh, shit.
The black cover on it.
Yep.
And sometimes, like, I think people would have maybe a purple one, and you would trade covers or some shit like that.
I never did that, and I never saw the purple one, but I do remember the cover, and I do remember everybody being like, oh, he's got a Texas Instrument.
Yep, and then it'd have like the baseball game on it, or that number drop game.
Oh, that's right. They did have games on some of them.
Hell yeah! You remember there was that one game where the number would slide down that little like shit.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember that.
You could like do more than fucking write boobless on that shit.
Boobless, I remember that. So here's a funny story that I wanted to tell you, and I apologize again for eating. I'm gonna have to put in the title on this, like Kyle obnoxiously,
like a half an hour
obnoxiously eats for the first 30 minutes of the shit. But okay, so the other day it was my niece's birthday, right? Mm-hmm. So I go for the celebration and stuff. Now what
else would you go for?
I go for the birthdays for the most part. Like that's when I'm there. So. and I see them like, Christmas and stuff like that, or
Yeah.
certain holidays, not other holidays. But I go and usually I just ask my sister like, what should I get her?
Mhm.
And she'll tell me. She'll be like, oh, just get this. And so that's what happened this time. I said, what should I get her? She said a scooter and a helmet, and she sent me the links, and she was like, you're good. Get that. And I was like, okay, cool. So I got it. I thought like, oh, I'm being slick. Because you know me, I'm a last minute type of dude with certain things.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, I'm good. I'm slick. I got this like 2 weeks before shit was delivered. I had it just chilling there for like a week. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm good money. Like, everything I had to do is done. And then even on the day, I suck at rapping, so I called my mom, and my mom was like, yeah, I'll rap it for you, no problem. So my mom rapped it for me, and then we go. Now, I realized immediately when I walked in the door that I fucked up.
Oh.
Why? Because my niece and my nephew ran up to me, and they're like, Uncle Kyle, what did you get? What did you call Gia in the card that you got for her? And I was like, wait, I was thinking like, what? And then they said it again, like, and this time he said, what did you call yourself in the card that you got for her? And then it hit me. What I do, and I've always done this, is that I never just buy regular cards for people. I buy like a ridiculous card that makes no sense for the occasion because it makes me laugh. So, like, if it's your birthday, I might buy, like, a happy
bar mitzvah card
happy 50th anniversary, happy bar mitzvah, happy Arbor Day. Like, I just go deep, and I do it because it makes me laugh. I think it's hilarious. But then also, with the kids, I even go a step further, and I'll just, like, make up names. I'll be like, whatever, happy Labor Day, Bartholomew, love, whatever, Uncle Nutsack Boy or whatever. Like, I'll say anything. It doesn't, like...
Dear.
No, I won't actually say Nutsack Boy to them. But, like, I'll say silly stuff, basically, is the point. Now, I did this with my nephew at his birthday, right? And so I forgot that they enjoyed it so much. The kids were laughing so hard. They thought it was the funniest thing ever. And so... Then my sister told me, like, oh, I should have warned you. For, like, the week leading up to me going down for her birthday, they were talking about what card I would get her.
Oh, you didn't get a card?
I didn't get a card, bro.
Oh, damn.
I was like, fuck. So, in a panic, I go, because I'm thinking, my mind's going, damn it. And I'm thinking, I'm about to hop out of here, get in the car, go to the nearest Walgreens or CVS and get a card and rush back here quickly.
Yeah.
So I go to my sister, and I'm like, I fucked up. I forgot to get a card, and all they cared about was the card. They didn't even care about the gift. They were just like, "Let me see the card." But my sister came through in the clutch at the last minute.
She had a secret stash or something.
Went into the draw, had to pulled out like a happy something grandpa, and I'm like, yes. And so then I quickly turned around, jotted it down on the kitchen table, and then gave the card.
Damn, she blessed you.
No, she totally blessed me. But now, I messed up a little bit because I was so good with that funny card that now it's a thing, and now they expect it every time because I'm not, especially for the kids, but even for adults, like I'll get if I have to get you something for whatever it may be, I'll get you something. But a card is like a 50-50 thing. Sometimes I'll hit you with a card, sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll just give you whatever the thing is. But now with the kids, I have no option. I have to get the card every time, and I got to be funny every time. And then what everybody was telling me to do is like, just go like do it in one shot. Go to CVS, pull like 14 cards, pre-write them, and then you're all set.
That's not a bad idea.
No,
they just want a funny card. You could put whatever the fuck on there. It doesn't have to be like time dated or anything.
That's the genius of the shit that I'm doing is that since I'm writing anything and it's on any random card, you could just pre-write all of them.
It's weird because I was never a card person, but like Molly, she needs a card it's weird. Like she wants that card and she keeps them for memories and stuff like that. And like, I'll always write some shit in it that's sweet. And like 5 years later, she could look at a card I gave her on Valentine's Day or something. But like, she needs a card. And it's always weird because it's like, it comes the day of the holiday and I'm like, fuck. And then like a day will pass and I'll see she's a little salty and I'll be like, what's wrong? Like, I was just expecting a card. And I was like, oh, What the fuck does the card do?
I'm telling you, listen, dude, I think that's like, I don't want to go as far as to say it's a male-female thing, but there's definitely something there a little bit, because, or it might be just be that you and me are selfish assholes and we're not thoughtful.
No, I am, because I get a card and it's like, I'm
nah,
like, oh, wow, that's
dog,
really
if you're getting
sweet.
it on the last day, that you're on my level of thoughtfulness.
No, I'm saying like if someone gives me a card, like I'll look at it and I'm like, oh, that's sweet. It's got nice writing in it. But now, do I throw this shit away or do I have to like keep it in
No, see,
a
I'm
box?
I'm
Like,
kind of like you, except I'm a little worse in that I'm like, I'll look at a card and I'll just be like, I'll feel awkward.
what? Because you have to react to like what it
Yeah,
says.
because now there's the pressure on and they're looking at you. And you got to be like, oh, yay.
Yeah. Oh,
And it's
thanks,
hard because
Bob, and then give him a hug after you read it or some shit.
if you react like you would normally react, you'll be like, damn, they'll all know that I'm dead inside.
Yeah.
If you react like, all right, cool, they'll be like, the fuck? So
What
gotta
do you
be
do
like,
with your card afterwards?
honestly, what I do is I'll just like bring it home and it'll be on like the kitchen counter for maybe 2 weeks and then I throw it out. But I mean, like, are you supposed to never throw it out? Is that what people do?
That's what I'm saying. It's almost like cards are like some shit, like yogurt containers. Like they're bad for the environment because what do you do? Like, do you throw those shits out?
You're bad for the environment.
Because it's like they build up in your house. You can't throw them away because it's got some sweet note on there.
I was always of the opinion that that's what my mom always did. She would keep it for like 2 weeks and then throw it out. And so if she would do that, then why the hell can't I do that?
I wonder what the majority of people do with their cards. Like my wife, she keeps all those shits. She's got all her cards in a box or somewhere under the bed or something like that. But me, I think I'm the same as you. I'll open that shit. I'll let it sit on the counter for a hot minute, and then I'm just like,
Well, I must suck because even when I write the card out, I feel awkward. I feel like I'm not good at expressing emotion like
oh no,
that.
I'm great at that shit. I could if I'm writing you a card for some shit, like congratulations shit, I would kill it. I would put like the most awesome shit on there where you read it and you're like, yo, thanks, dog. I felt that.
Why am I so dead inside, man? Like I can't muster up even for like I obviously love my mother deeply.
Mm-hmm.
But even when writing a card for her, I'm like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Dear Mom, thank you for being really great. Like, what am I supposed to say?
I don't know. Yeah, I've always been good at like sort of just getting. I guess I don't know, mate. I don't know what the hell that is, but that's a good point. Like, I've always been good at expressing shit down in writing. Like, I've never been good grammatically. Like, I don't know where a comma goes in my shit or like any of that type of deal. But like my content is off the chains.
Damn,
my run-on
I'm
sentence
jealous
would be
now.
fucked up.
I'm jealous now.
You know where to put like a comma and like
not even.
some
I'm not a great
semicolons and
writer.
shit, right?
A lot of people assume I'm a good writer because I'm a good talker, but I'm not actually a great writer. I struggle a little bit with the writing thing.
I feel like that shit it was taught to us when we were young, but after that, it sort of just goes by the wayside a little bit. Like English classes, you're just reading books and shit like that.
I think a lot of being good at writing is natural ability to write. I think it's
but you probably also pick it up during reading too, right? Because you'll see where it comes.
No, I don't think reading and write. I don't think if you're a good reader, that translates into being a good writer. I think that you have to think in a way that's conducive to being written on a page, and I don't think in that way. I think in a way where I'm talking.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I have a cadence for talking, but if you take what I'm saying and you write it down on paper, I struggle the same like you just described. Where do I put the comma? Where do I put the period? When do I start a new paragraph?
Yeah.
I don't know any of that shit. You know, I'm good at talking, but I'm not necessarily a good writer. I wish I was a good writer, but I'm not. And I also think it's not just natural ability. I think that's part of it, but also if you start writing from when you're young and you keep writing, I think you'll probably be a good writer. Whereas
yeah, you could probably pick it up and get better
like
at it.
If you start later in life, I think it's much more likely that you won't write in a way where people can understand it well.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to even put your finger on what makes a good writer. I can't even describe what I think makes a good writer. I just know when I read something and it clicks with me. And I'm like, oh, I get this. This person's writing good. But I can't describe why they're writing good.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like the shit that I write, I read it and I'm like, this shit is banging. Like it flows. Oh, there's a funny comment right there. But then I'll send it to someone else, like my sister, who's really good at like knowing where commas go and shit. And she's just like, but where does this sentence end? Like you're trying to say a joke here? Like
See,
I'm like,
that's my
yeah,
problem too. Is like I think you suffer from the same thing I do. You're just good at talking, and when you try to transfer that to writing it on a page, it doesn't transfer.
yep,
There's other things that go into, like, the way you structure a sentence when you write is a little different than when you talk.
yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
well, that's why Twitter is almost good because I feel like some people, the majority of people, are going to get what you're saying.
That's why I'm good at Twitter. Yeah, because Twitter is just short and punchy. Like, you just got
Yeah,
to get it out. Like, what are you saying? Just say it in as
yep,
short a fucking little soundbite as you can. Boom, done.
yeah, yep.
Yeah, so it's just like a quick comment type thing. I don't have to write like some long prose or whatever.
Like a J.K. Rowling's or Mark Twain or some shit would be terrible at Twitter because they'd try and be like, well, I went outside and the wind was blowing and comma,
Yeah,
I
it's not a
went
good
and saw
medium for
this guy.
them. It's not a good
Yeah,
medium for them. For certain people, it's a good medium. For other people, it's not a good medium. I think good
but it's
talkers
crazy.
do well on Twitter because it's like it's more of a casual format where you just got to say something short, you know?
Yep, yep.
Um, son, I tried. Remember back in the day, muscle milk?
Yeah, I never tried that
Oh,
shit.
you never tried it? Okay, I used to use that all the time when I worked out. I was in the store the other day and I saw it. I was like, I'm gonna try this, and so I grabbed it and I tried it. And at first, it was good while it was going down, but then later on, the aftertaste in my mouth was gross. I was like, what the fuck is this? It was weird. Like, it lasted like 6 hours later. I still had the aftertaste.
What?
It just lingers. It
What
just
was it
lingered.
like? What kind of
It
aftertaste
was
was it? Like a
just, I don't know
chalky?
how to describe it. Almost like a powerful fake sweetener taste in my mouth.
Oh, that would have bothered the fuck
It
out of
did.
me.
It bothered me, and then I tried
Did
to
you
do
try
it.
and get it out with like some
Yeah, you
soda
try
or
to
like?
eat something to get it out. That didn't work. Tried to use Tic Tacs to get it out. It works while the Tic Tacs are in my mouth. Pause. It worked, but then when it
I
was
tried to
done,
suck something to get it out.
then I brushed
No
my
pause.
teeth and used Listerine, and that didn't work. I tried so much shit.
You know what used to be popular as fuck, and I don't know if you were on this, but this brings me back to my millennial point. And if people don't know about this shit, then they weren't with the times. But Slim Fast used to have like a vanilla and chocolate shake in like some. It was like a little. Like, it looked like a bean jar, like you know how corn comes in those like silver cans.
Hmm.
Slim Fast used to come in that shit, and they had chocolate and vanilla, and people used to buy those shakes because they tasted phenomenal. But I think it had a little bad of an aftertaste, but the shake was still banging. That's maybe what like muscle milk is now.
100%. That's exactly what it is. I never had a Slim Fast before, but what you described is exactly what it was. Like while the muscle milk was going down, I was like, this just tastes like a delicious chocolate shake.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's what
then
the Slim Fast was. Yo, I think I used to buy it as a drink. Like I'd go to Dairy Dell and they'd have every single drink, and I'd be like, "Nah, I want the Slim Fast." And it looked like it was from like a 1970s workout video. It was like had a light blue. Look up a Slim Fast can. I think it was like light blue, and it said like Slim Fast on it, but it looked like some shit straight out of like a Jenny Craig video.
yeah, I see it.
Is
Yep.
it like light blue or no?
Yeah, there is light blue on it. If you get the vanilla one.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably what the muscle milk shit was like.
Yeah, it probably tastes similar.
But it's weird because it's like supposed to be a dietary drink, but that shit definitely made you fatter if you drank that.
Slim Fast? No,
Yeah.
probably. It probably works to an extent, you know?
I mean, how though?
I don't know. I mean, whatever is in it is obviously not as filling as a fucking milkshake.
Yeah, but it's still like some chocolatey or vanilla, like
But they
syrupy
can
shit.
make like they can make it taste like that without it being that. You know what I mean? Like they
I
can
don't think back in the 80s they probably were just saying that shit was, you know? Like,
they just give you a milkshake and they're like, "Yeah, it's a diet thing."
yeah, fuck that shit.
Well, that's
I
Starbucks
knew,
does the opposite. Starbucks gives you like basically a milkshake and they pretend it's coffee. They're like, "Yeah, it's got caffeine in it, but it's basically a milkshake with caffeine." And everybody
yeah,
drinks it like, "Oh my god, this is so delicious." Yeah, but you're also having like, 5 times the amount of sugar you think you're having with it, you know?
yeah, true.
That's what makes it taste good is that it's just fucking people dump sugar in it.
Yeah, I guess so. And you know what I've never had? A Shamrock Shake.
Never even heard of it.
From McDonald's, the green shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never had that either. I'm usually not a shake guy because I'm a little bit lactose intolerant.
Oh, true.
So I just avoided shakes because I don't want to fucking shit myself.
But you would crush apple pies or some shit like that.
Yeah, but that's not a milkshake.
A shake.
Yeah. I'm like, what?
No, I know. I'm saying, I don't know. I feel like there was dairy somewhere around.
No. Like, but I'm good. I could have cheese. I could have all other forms of dairy, no problem. It's just milk was the only thing that gave me a little bit of an issue. But
yeah.
even that was 50-50. It wasn't a guarantee. Like, I think I actually tried one not that long ago, a shake either from Burger King or from McDonald's, and it didn't impact me negatively because I think however they made it, it wasn't with like actual milk. Mm-hmm. Whichever one I tried, I don't know which one I tried.
Yeah, I could see that. I have that with weird things too, like Brazen Fox and White Plains.
Uh-huh.
They have like this buffalo chicken wrap that for some reason, I don't know if it's like Tabasco sauce that they use on the buffalo chicken.
Fucks up your stomach.
OD, but it's banging. So I get it, and I'm like, I'm gonna be fine this time.
I've had their crispy chicken, and it's good. It's what you get without the buffalo sauce.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I love it.
But like 11:30 comes around every single time, like clockwork, and I've done it to myself like 7 different times. I'll be home like, oh.
You always do that when you go to Chipotle. You're like, don't get the green shit, 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 and then you order, and you're like, I'll have the green shit.
I think I dead ass last time I went to Chipotle, and I'm giving it a little bit of a break because this time I think I was like an E. coli study or some shit.
Damn, it was that bad?
For like a week.
A week? What?
It was like root beer coming out.
Oh my God, bro.
It was bad, and it definitely lined up from when I had some shit at Chipotle. And like there's these articles that come out of people with E. coli or like someone gets sick from Chipotle. I think I just like beasted through that shit. Like I probably could have went to the newspaper and been like, "This Chipotle by my crib."
Could have been. You definitely had like fucking food poisoning, but how you got it is an open question. But you definitely had it.
Yeah.
I mean, if that for a week, that's a long time, dude. That's a long time.
Yeah, it was definitely like 4 days.
Oh my God, bro! Jesus Christ, I would have been miserable.
Not constant, but like when I would go to the bathroom, it would show its face.
That must have been so miserable.
No, it actually was enjoyable.
You said that the other day to me. You're like, if I had a choice between diarrhea or constipated, I'm going diarrhea every time.
100%.
And I was like, nah.
Yeah, nah. How no?
Because diarrhea is worse, in my opinion.
Nah, that shit is just like free flowing. It's like Niagara Falls. Just like...
But I feel like every time I've ever had that, it's accompanied with genuine pain and nausea.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man.
So my first thought is Jeff Daniels from Dumb and Dumber when he's on the toilet.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
To me, in a weird way, that sort of looks like enjoyable. Like he's sort of just like it's just free.
It's enjoyable. No, when you're done, there's a sigh of relief. Like, oh, thank God that's over, and you feel good because you just vacated your fucking bowels. But I don't know. I would rather it. Just constipation is just like, all right, this is gonna take a little bit longer. That's it. That's all that is. And there's no pain.
Constipation because it's not. No, sometimes you got to push a little bit. Like constipation is a little tougher. The other one, dead ass, is just like, just open up, and let
yeah, but you know what? You're not. I think you're dead wrong on this because if you have diarrhea, you can't be that far away from a toilet at any time.
Okay, mine has to come with a little asterisk. You're already on the toilet. It's not like you have you have to find a toilet.
Yeah, I mean, I think that position is less crazy. But,
yes.
Yeah, but I still disagree with it. I'd still rather be constipated.
I don't know, man. I think I'm like 100 that you're wrong on this shit.
We're going to do an old school Kyle and Corin poll for the next show. But you have to
all these people following you, your Twitter question's going to be
which would you rather have, diarrhea or constipation? Because I'm 100% on team constipation. I'd much rather be.
it's going to be, and I'm not even just saying this for the sake of argument. I think it's going to be a landslide with diarrhea.
Bugging. You're so bugging. I think it'll be close to 50-50.
Not even. I think it's going to be 70-30, like 77. Yeah.
No, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going 55% constipation.
Nah,
55%.
There's no. If someone genuinely knows the feeling that I'm talking about,
Dude, we all know that feeling, like when you're done with the diarrhea and like you feel good because you're like, it's over. Yes, I get
but
that.
Even during that,
nah,
shit.
during is you're crazy. You feel like fucking hot lava's coming out of your asshole. Who wants to feel that?
I don't know. I think it's just like a fucking pipe burst, and it's just like.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
That's fucking awesome.
Who describes a pipe burst as a good thing? Like, oh, wasn't it great when that pipe burst? No, it was terrible, actually.
People love when you're at a fire, like a fire hose or whatever, and you take that side panel off, and that shit just goes like.
Yeah, but that's not your body. They don't want anything coming out of your body like that. In no way does anybody want any kind of exit from their body like that.
I think people get joy out of all of those things. Fire hoses.
I love shitting my brains out on the toilet. By the way,
flame torch throwers.
The other thing is that like there is a conceivable scenario where diarrhea gets deadly, whereas with constipation that's not the case. Diarrhea, if you have it like a lot and you have like dysentery, you literally shit until you die.
See, I think the opposite. Constipation is almost like it can't come out, and that you're sitting there like squeezing, and like that shit could get backed up and blockage. Whereas diarrhea is just like, yo, everything's clearing out right now, whether you want it to or not.
I don't think anybody's ever died from just diarrhea or from just constipation. Whereas diarrhea is deadly if you have dysentery. Like you literally shit until you die. You get so dehydrated and you die.
And you don't see someone being constipated and not being able to shit, and that shit just backing up into their freaking lumps.
Well, that's a different story. If they're literally unable to shit, then that's deadly. But if they're just constipated, that's not deadly. It's just you're constipated. You see what I'm saying? Like one is deadly, the other's not deadly.
I think it is deadly.
It's not deadly to be constipated, bro. It's super common.
We went from you eating
to now talking about shitting.
People. And someone was like, all right, fine, I'm going to go get my food now and listen. And then we just started talking about fucking constipation and diarrhea.
God, bro. This is the funniest episode of Kyle and Corin ever because the entire time we pissed off everybody listening. From me eating.
Either end of the spectrum, you're getting fucking, like, you can't enjoy whatever you're doing.
There's no way, like, everybody who listens to this is going to be like, fuck you guys. All right, one more thing. You only have, like, 3 minutes left. Let me just real quick. Funny story. Another funny story. My mom apparently thought I was going to fail at life.
She just, like, randomly said that to you one day?
No. It's my aunt, man. Like, I'm so happy that she'll just be honest, like super honest about shit, and she just said it, or like I don't know how it came up, but it came up in a conversation pretty naturally, and she was like, yeah, she was like super worried about you. I was like, what? She was like, yeah, she'd no idea, because and then I was digging a little deeper, and they were describing it. She was like, when I was in high school, I fucking got whatever grades. I had like an 80 average or whatever, but a lot, like I purposely made the decision to fail gym one year and do gym in the summer, because in the summer you just had to walk around the track a few times, and you're good money. But if you went to gym class, they made you fucking swim and shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to swim. I don't want to fucking around all these people with my fucking shirt off and shit when you're self-conscious and you're in high school. Are you kidding me? And they fail you if you don't fucking swim. So I was like, all right, I'm just not going to go to gym. I'm just going to treat it like it's a period. Like it's a free period. But my mom, like, she was like, oh my God. She thought, like, my normal ass rebellious teenage phase, she thought, like, oh my God, what is happening? It was the end of the world to her. She thought, like, oh, he's obviously just going to be a failure of life.
Uh-huh.
And also, when I was younger and I had a stammering problem, it's kind of like a stutter, where, like, I couldn't get my words out. She just thought, like, my whole life, apparently, I didn't know this until just recently, but my whole life, she thought, like, yeah, this kid's just going to be a fucking failure.
Well, I mean, I don't blame her, and this is something I was just talking to my dad about too. No, for real. I mean, like, if you're working a job and then one day you come home and you're just like, I'm gonna start doing some shit out of the basement, I would be like, what? Or even when you're like younger, or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, you can't control someone to be like, no, you got to go swimming and go to gym class. If you're just like, no, I'm not doing that shit, I'd be like worried like a motherfucker also.
Yeah, that's a good point, man.
Especially
That's
if your
true.
sister was like going to gym class and doing all that shit. You know, like she had one kid to touch some shit off of, and then the other kid being the opposite of that shit.
Yeah,
And
but
then she's like,
the crazy thing, though, is I'm not going to get into my sister's business because I wouldn't let that out because she probably, I don't know if she'd want that. But, like, she had other problems.
yeah,
Like, my shit was,
everyone's
like,
got, yeah,
my shit was kind of, I'm just kind of rebellious. Like, I didn't want to do shit. And my dad was right all along about this. My dad had many flaws, but he had it nailed from the beginning because my mom wanted to get more, from when I was young. She wanted to get me tutors and stuff, and my dad was like, she thought I was literally like developmentally disabled. She was like,
Damn.
he has like serious learning, like he can't. And my dad was like, Grace, he just doesn't care. And my mom like swore up and down, no, something's wrong. Because you know why? Because my mom, not to throw her under the bus, her whole life she was a little goody two shoes, so she never had her fucking rebellious phase. And when you never have your rebellious phase, when you see somebody else's rebellious phase, you think it's the end of the world. And that's what happened. She thought it was the end of the world. And she said,
yes, she was worried. I mean, she's a mother.
rock bottom. Well, that's the other thing. So I can understand it from that perspective. But she thought when I quit selling cars, she thought like this is rock bottom.
That's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
It's just like,
She thought this is rock bottom. Like this.
because you did that shit on some gangster shit. Like, I think your boss just like said some shit to you one day, and you were like, "Fuck you, fuck this," you know, like, right?
It was kind of like, it was a
case?
little bit like that. Yeah, like I needed help for a customer and I asked her for help and she was just taking forever. And so I was like, basically like, are you going to do this? And then she tried to put me in place or something. And I was like I'm a grown ass man. Like, what are you
like,
doing?
who the fuck are you?
Yeah, like what do you like? And then she tried to send me home for the day. And I was like, yo, this isn't grade school. You can't just send somebody home for the day.
Oh my god.
And then what happened was I was like, all right, fuck this, I'm out. And then the next day I was texting the other manager and he was like, you could come back, but you just have to apologize to her. And I was like, I was like, okay. She should apologize to me. Fuck that shit. But I should be thanking her because the fact that she didn't apologize to me, you know, led to the show full time, led to where we are now. So
yeah, I need my boss to do that shit for me so I can fucking.
you need your boss to make you say "fuck you" and then be done with it. But you like traveling; you get to travel for your job, man.
I know. I need my boss to come in one day and just be like, "Apologize to me," and I'll be like, "What? Apologize?" Oh, Boston, man, they're fucking up by 2 on Milwaukee. Whew.
I'm surprised by this, dude, because I thought Milwaukee really has it like this year. Like I was so impressed by them all year.
I don't know what the fuck's happening. Boston's playing it well.
Yeah, they are. All right, son, I'm gonna let you go because you got shit you got to do. But
it's cool. You're gonna come on Corin's World.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Whenever you want, dude.
All right, cool.
We'll make it happen.
Cool.
Everybody, go subscribe to Corin's World.
Yeah, Corin's World. I think
respect.
we need like 80 more to get to 4,000.
Not for nothing. You're pumping out content even while you're always busy, which is impressive, man. Like you're on the road and you're still making videos and shit all the time.
Yeah,
that's not easy. People don't know that's not easy.
No, it's not easy at all, and I'm still got to get over that, you know, filming in front of people shit. So maybe some of the content's dry, but I think it's all right.
No, it's good. It's good for sure.
Cool.
I tweeted one the other day. I forget which one it was, but
oh, cool.
all right. Anyway, love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. We're out. Peace.